Greetings and salutations, Earthlings. I am Zube. Welcome to my little corner of YouTube. I'm going to be doing a random collective reading, and this will be timeless. If you're interested in a personal reading, astrology, or tarot, my information is down below. And I'm also going to ramble a little bit because often I come into these with some kind of a message. And the message that I have, my lips just stuck to my teeth. I guess that bagel dried out my mouth. Anyway, let me sip my coffee. All right. Bless you. The message that I have is a little bit unclear. So, and I want to talk a little bit about where I am on my journey and how in doing tarot readings and all of that, like there's just so much that if we pull out the exacts of all of our stories, there's a lot of similarity. Or I can always find connection to somebody else and whatever it is their struggle is, you know. But I want to ramble on a little bit about where my mind is going with my just what's going on in the world and my channel. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? What is all this stuff that I'm doing anyway? So it could be a little bit rambly if you want to go and grab yourself a frothy beverage or a cup of coffee, or I don't even care if it's an adult beverage. The only adult beverages I drink these days are mocktails, but in my readings for the past few days, it's kind of like we're stuck in a place and we are opening our hearts, and maybe we're opening our hearts even though we're afraid to open our hearts. And that is going to be an over and over and over again process, you know, because we're building up courage and bravery and resiliency. So the visual that I have been getting in my meditations that I haven't brought in as a message here because it's unclear. And so, you know, like when I'm meditating, just kind of pictures will come through. Then every once in a while, my ego gets involved. And because I've practiced meditation for a while, I can sort of tell the difference. It's like, oh, that's my ego just kind of running with creating something. But there's been one that's like, it's like, picture it like a comic book thing, and or a silent film even. And it's a silent film. I can't hear anything that's being said, but it's me walking around in different scenes or scenarios. Actually, it's kind of like a black and white, like there was a video, Take on Me, that one, I think, where she's looking in the mirror and then she goes in and she's like black and white and it's all scritchy scratchy like a comic book. It's almost kind of like that. And so I can't hear anything that's being said, but I can see like my mouth moving or I'm doing things. And I always joke with my sister, like, I guess I'm just supposed to pump my gas and walk around and let words come out of my mouth. But in these scenes, my mouth will move and then other people's mouths will move in response. And sometimes they're angry, sometimes they're not, you know, and that's been ever present for a few months now. And I can't really make anything of it. And I've known it's there. And I think it's supposed to be unclear. But one of the struggles that or situations that I have in my life is wrapped up in my story, and I'm like, to some degree, I have muted my story. Like I don't talk about it. And in a way that feels inauthentic, but I've done some exploration with like, what if I shared more of my story? And in my mental exploration of that, that doesn't feel right either, because it's just a fucking story. Everybody has a story, So I think what I've been going through over the past few months is kind of conceptualizing my experience of walking the earth in a way that feels genuine. And actually, I do that and have been doing that on here. And just allowing that to be my authentic expression. It doesn't necessarily require words, but at the same time, am I silent in other areas of my life where it is no longer serving me? And so, what I am beginning to glean from that visual of seeing my mouth move is like that it's all just words, but the emotions and the anger, they can't hurt me. And ready, some of these scenes, like I get killed or I get punched in the face or I get, but there is a part of me that will survive that. And that's my soul. Like if I, get unalived or whatever, then I just move on to somewhere better. It's not like I'm trying to be there anymore, maybe several years ago. But nothing can hurt me. You know what I mean? Like, what am I so afraid of? Speaking my mind. And I don't have to, this is the thing. I don't have to do it here behind the protection of a screen or with I used to blog, oh my God, like 20 years ago, maybe a little less, 18, 19 years ago. And there was one thing that bothered me a little bit because I would blog about being pro-choice. And I would share my experience of being raped and getting pregnant while I was in college. And at the time I was pro-life. And then I was like, wow, gee, I didn't know what it was like to be in this situation, even though I thought I did. Anyway, long story short, I would post about that. And then people who were pro-life would come in and comment. And then all of these people would attack them and defend me. And I didn't really like that. I was like, I understood why people were doing that. And it was really awkward putting myself out there. But it was something that I think I came here to learn, is putting myself out there, because being a people pleaser has been my constant struggle. But, and so that's a little bit like what I feel like might happen if I were to share details of situations, as opposed to just speaking in more generalities. And the generalities, I think, are still kind of helpful. So they're perhaps even more helpful, Although I've also been thinking that if you're watching my channel, hopefully it's because you like me. I mean, unless it's because you hate me, because I think that's the case too for some people, but that's fine. I mean, if that's what they want to do with their time. But this is my authentic voice. And there are some people that I follow on YouTube, and I'm like, what is it about the people that I enjoy? What is it that I enjoy about people I watch on YouTube? And there's this one guy, and he's like, he's always saying stuff like, I should put his YouTube below. Like, I don't get that many views here. I don't have that many subscribers. I'm in a similar boat, and I sort of like it that way. And he said, because my message is not for everybody. And even some of his message does not resonate with me, but he's sharing his journey, and he doesn't get super detail oriented about it. And and he's like, but nobody even ever comments or likes anything. And I've literally never commented or liked on any of his stuff, but I watch it regularly because I love the fact that he's sharing what he's going through, and that's what we're all going through because we are all one and all of that. And I will, yeah, I want to bring astrology into this channel, but then I just don't understand how the metrics and all that work. Like, are people going to be like, oh, I don't like astrology, her notifications are annoying? But then I'm like, I don't really care, whatever. So I'm going to pull some cards, but the message that I'm coming in with for this is that it's a silent movie. Imagine that like the world is a silent movie and the words will come out of your mouth. And in the comic visualization that I was having, of being punched in the face, I didn't care. I didn't care. And I could tell, though, the point was not to just go out and do and say the most and hurt people, but that it was okay to speak my truth when it arises. And even if the worst happened, that doesn't have to matter. I don't have to have an emotional reaction to that. So who knows? Maybe that's for some of you. Because I've been really struggling with like my own voice, and that this is what I appreciate about people on YouTube that I watch. I like to see their face. It's a big thing of mine. Although I do love a few people whom I've never seen their face. I just like the way that they read cards, but I prefer seeing people's faces. I prefer unedited, just stream of conscious, and people who don't profess to have like all the answers, people who are like, this is my experience. I like to see people fucking struggle because we all are. And it, anyway, let's see what the cards have to say about all that. Oops. Oh yeah, so I am Teresa Zube.com. Feel free to like and subscribe because it doesn't hurt, I mean, I'm not above feeling good about myself if like this channel is speaking to people. So I'm going to do it. Yesterday I did a Celtic cross. I'm doing it my regular way. Today, this is the internal card, the 9 of Cups, wish fulfilled. We want to feel emotionally fulfilled. Ready? The 9 of Cups card. Stories, story time. And I've told this one before, but in the 9 of, he got the 9 cups, and the 9 of Cups is the wish fulfilled, because in the 8 of Cups, the person walks away from 8 cups that are standing, totally fine cups. They're enough. They have enough cups, but the person knows that there's more out there for them. So they walk into the unknown, excuse me, on faith, knowing that they deserve more. And that's a risk because they have to leave everything, all of their other 8 cups standing. And they take that risk of going on the unpromised. I mean, it's not promised, but they feel it's promised. And so for having faith and knowing that they deserved more, or that more was due them, or whatever, that they were worthy of more, they get not only that 9th cup, but they get the other 8 back, or the equivalent back. So it's like, keep your faith, but hold on to your wishes. All is not lost. Wow. what's external, what's in front of us. So 9 of Cups, wish fulfilled, just hold on to that wish fulfilled. Imagine you have it already in some other dimension or whatever. In front of you are what's external. We have the Queen of Wands and the 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles, this is knowing your worth. She has been through a lot of toil and trouble and all of that stuff, but she knows her values. She's standing with a bird on her hand. The bird represents her connection to Mother, Father, God, to the divine. She represents a wealthy woman standing in her orchard, and it's something that she worked hard for. So there is still hard work involved, but we have to know our worth, right? And in the Queen of Wands, there's that witchy vibe again. A witch card came out yesterday, but the Queen of Wands is creative. The wands are fire, passion. It's heart energy. The Queen of Wands is the manifester, the woman on a spiritual journey. And these cards are external to us. So that is how we are kind of heading into the world, or meant to head into the world, knowing our value. And because this is a pip card, the and it's not a court card, it's the 9 of Coins. The 9 of Coins represents coming to the culmination of a journey. The 10 of Coins, why am I saying coins? This could be a financial reading. It could have to do with great, all that. I love the divine, yada, 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 but I'm fucking broke. Like, maybe that's what you're going through. So maybe the wish that you're holding on to. And also, I wanted to point out, we have a 9 and a 9. 9 of Cups, which is the wish fulfilled, and the 9 of Pentacles. However, given that yesterday, I think we're in the midst of something, we don't even know we're at the beginning of something. These are goals. They are like, don't forget about your wishes, and don't forget what you know you are worthy of and capable of. And the Queen of Wands is about creating that, manifesting it. Write it down. So even if you're like in this confusion, I've been feeling like I'm in this teeny tiny box, I've just been feeling really boxed in, and that has something to do with not speaking, but what truth? I haven't even figured it out yet. Like, what is the truth that I feel like I'm stuck in, or and I don't know the answers yet. And I think that's why the box is getting smaller and smaller. And maybe that's true for you too. But don't forget the longer term goals. Like, just what? What? And this is how I call this the God spot. So it's like the higher perspective on what's going on down here. We have the Knight of Swords. That's kind of interesting. I think I'm going to clarify it. So the Knights are, movement, and the Knight of Swords can be kind of a dick. So like, maybe some of you are acting out. Maybe I need to be a dick. I don't know. Maybe this is my reading. And they're like, all right, Zube, because I don't think that we're going to like la 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 ourselves to another dimension. It's like not like that. I don't believe that. God, are you telling me to be a dick? Same. Judgment. Am I judging? No, I'm just going to quit it with that metaphor or whatever that stream of consciousness thought. But wow, this is really interesting. So maybe this is a true someone who speaks the truth, someone who speaks their mind. Okay. The Judgment card. Without judgment. And there is a way to do that, like being discerning. And that's exactly what I was talking about. This visualization, it's not even necessarily about the words, and it's about the emotions and like the dynamics of some situations needing to change. Like, are you can't really get hurt. Like, they're just words. They're just words. And I don't believe that whole sticks and stones can break my bones, but names can never hurt me, because I have never been like physically abused. But I think that words can be really harmful, because words can be used to manipulate our minds. And that's actually a very, very harmful thing. And it's harder to recover from in some sense, to the best of my knowledge. I have heard this from people who have been physically abused, that the mental or verbal abuse was more difficult. I know that if anybody ever punched me in the face, like even in these comic visuals, I might not care, but I walked away. I was like, okay, my job here is done. Um, I didn't punch anybody back in them. What am I going on about? Yeah, the Three of Wands. Here's what I love about this card coming out. I'm babbling, and that just feels right to me right now. So if you're still with me, hi. uh the Three of Wands. We have in this card, he has put his wishes out into the universe, and now he is waiting. It's like it's spirit's turn or God's turn to respond. He's gone as far as he can go, and the threes are always about growth and expansion and co-creation. Like, who are we co-creating with? Often that's the divine, and there are ships out here. It's time to wait for the ships to come in. He would exhaust himself if he swam out to the ships. We're looking at the back of his head. So as he's standing there, is he going, yep, that's right, I put in my order and my ship's coming, it's on its way? Or is he standing there like, oh my God, is that ship starting to turn? Is it going to go the other way? Is it going to turn around? Is it, should I swim out there? Should I go get all the stuff before, like, just in case something happens? Is the ship going to sink? So I think this is kind of where we are, and that's what I'm going on about. And by just working through and sorting through this stuff, that's how we're going to grow. And it's exactly where we're supposed to be. Let's grab let's grab one of these. I'm going to read the book. This book is kind of long. Guys, I can't make this shit up. I swear to God. Cannot make it up. I live in truth. It's a keyhole with a snake in there. But look at the snake in it's almost like it's buried, it's boxed in. It's a little bit of what I described, but it's a snake. Okay. It's number 7. Okay. This isn't too long. I live in truth. The hermetic principle of polarity describes the dual nature of reality in such a way that reconciles the very notion, stating that all truths are but half truths and every truth is half false. This complicated paradox may cause us to wonder, what is truth anyway? Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same, opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. It's in the Kabbalion. In looking at truth beyond the esoteric lens and into what is in the present moment, this malleable concept may ideally be understood as a choice to live in alignment with what is authentic to your true instinct, the heart of your soul's song. When we are out of alignment with truth, the heart can feel heavy, anchored in the weight of deceit to self, paralyzed by inauthentic action. This is insane. The venomous energy of dishonesty constricts the potential to be a creator within a consciously creative reality, as the space in which your soul orbits spirals into discord. In looking at a life of truth as an ideal to strive toward, let us be reminded of the serpent as an energetic metaphor. The serpent moves through life fluidly, following intuition, allowing its senses to guide its actions, and does not question movement, but rather follows an instinctual truth. As time goes by, the serpent sheds its skin, letting go of what is no longer necessary, slightly transformed, but still ever evolving and consistently moving with the momentum of the soul song. In our human existence, we are presented with daily obstacles and potentially difficult personalities that will cause us to instinctually tell a half truth or say something half false. But if we try to stay in alignment with our first intuition and speak less, teach more, we anchor our awareness in authenticity. For every true no we say, we remain in alignment with more yes. And what may feel in opposition is actually a reconciliation with duality. The snake sheds its skin when it is no longer necessary, but it is still the same snake. If we remember to shed what is in discord with our truth, as no longer in alignment with our soul's song, we become who we truly are, transformed. I mean, that's crazy. That's kind of what this reading was about, and that's what I was describing earlier. And the reason it's so hard for me to articulate personally is because it's not that I'm lying about stuff. You know what I mean? It's just this feeling inauthentic to me in general. Probably because I say yes when I mean no. Probably because I instinctually shut down words that want to come out of my mouth to keep the peace, to keep the fucking peace. And you know where the peace ends up? Out there, but not really, like not real peace. It's definitely not in here though. It's definitely not in here. So anyway, I know that was really rambly. I hope that if you're still here, you don't feel like you totally wasted your time. And if you do, I love you. Take care. Have a great day on earth. Peace. Namaste.